Welcome everybody. On today's video we have another installment of what I'm reading. So here we have Succubus ni Tensai, which is a story about a boy that dies and gets reincarnated as a succubus in this fantasy world. Now this whole thing starts off with our main character Richie, who is in a ramen shop with his friend, and he is eating some ramen that has meat and a lot of broth. So, a lot of soup, a lot of meat, a lot of noodles, He likes the meat, He likes that type of ramen. I do too. So, I feel a connection with him there. So, what happens is a car or a truck basically crashes into his shop. He dies and he gets reincarnated. Now, the issue here is that at the reincarnation center that handles reincarnations, they don't know what ramen is, nor what ramen broth or meat is. Thus, the only meat they really know is the meat that is on the human body. And I think you know what type of meat I'm talking about. So they thought he was doing something else, that he was doing something really dirty, and like he was really into, a certain piece of meat that's on the human body. Thus, what happens is they think, oh, since he likes this, let's reincarnate him as a succubus. That's perfect for him, right? But he tries to tell them no, that wasn't the case. But to them, it's like they have no record of any other human food or anything else that humans consume. Thus, they decide this is your only option. So to make a compromise, they're making him a cow, which has special milk, which will also allow him to survive. As long as he drinks that milk, it will give him the nutrients his body needs to survive. So when he goes into the new world, he is this busty, blonde-haired, red-eyed succubus with little horns and wings, and has this overpowered cow which could handle any situation. The cow literally eats an ogre with ease. This cow is overpowered, and since the cow is female, Reach names it Minako, and his only source of nutrition, the cow's milk, Minako's milk, outside of, having some sort of sexual intercourse with another person, and, taking, their juices and substances to give her body the nutrients it needs to survive and function. Now, when Reach first enters the world, Reach is spotted by some adventurers, basically. Not the best adventurers. They end up wanting to rape Reach and stuff like that. But basically what happens is there's this boy hanging out with them, and he's not old enough to be an adventurer because you need to be a certain age to be an adventurer. That's why he has to accompany them to go on adventures. He is just this innocent boy. That's the best way I can explain him. He's a nice person, and honestly, I can't say much more about his character just besides that. He doesn't really have any particular traits that I think are really interesting or stand out compared to other characters. Now, his sister, who is very perverted, she runs her own little bar. She doesn't care about what your sex is, what your race is. So that makes me think that there's some people out there in this world that might discriminate against other races. Thus, she doesn't care about what your race or sex is. She wants to base you off of the person you are, not what you are. She, just because you're a certain race, she's not gonna hate you or like you more. If you're a good person, you're a good person. If you're a bad person, you're a bad person. That's how it is with her. She does a lot of weird things to Reach, she ends up sleeping with Reach and then taking Reach's panties and putting them on her head. On top of that, she ends up groping Reach's giant breasts. What type of succubus Reach is by looking at her panties, but Reach has no panties. I don't know what impression she got from that, but apparently it was somewhat of a good one at the very least. We have our last character I think is worth mentioning, which is this other succubus girl. I assume she's a succubus because in later volumes, on one of the covers, we see her with her tail out, and it looks like a succubus tail. So I assume she's a succubus, as well as previously in previous chapters before chapter 7, we see a silhouette of a succubus when the sister is talking about them, and that silhouette is the same model, the exact same model as the succubus girl from the volume 2 cover, as well as how she appears in chapter 7 at the very end when she sees Reach and is very interested in her. Now, within this world, every race is different with how they develop and evolve. So every race has a level and they have a stat, and their stats will determine how strong they are. And once you get to a certain level, 5 which is basically the minimum to get a skill, and then certain levels will mean that you're at a certain level. 10, the strength of an average woman. Level 5 is that of a child. I think it was like level 15 or 20 or somewhere around there is around the strength of an average adult male. And then above that we have like heroes and warriors. For Reach, because she is now a succubus, the only way she can level up and get stronger is by having some sort of sexual intercourse and doing succubus-like things to level up. So that makes every race unique in the fact that you don't just have to fight and get stronger. You have to do certain things. Every race is different. So some races that are more magical need to train more in magic. Other races that are more physical need to get stronger physically. Succubus, they have to do sexual things. So every race is unique in how they develop, and they have different criteria for how they evolve and get stronger. So Reach, not wanting to do the normal succubus things, decides that she would rather not get stronger, would rather not level up if it means having to do, sexual things, which she doesn't want to do, especially when you consider that Reach is a male at mind and at heart, but physically is female. Thus Reach is still thinking like a male, thus doesn't want to have sex and do sexual things with males. Thus Reach will be the weakest succubus out there, because Reach isn't gonna be doing the things that are required of her/him to level up. Well, my favorite part about this manga so far, one is the leveling up system of having every race having to do specific things that are mainly associated with their race's skills and advantages, making all the races unique. So that way, at the very least, when you see someone of a certain race at a certain level, they had to do certain things, whether they liked it or not, to get to that level. And that not everybody should do the same thing and get stronger. Everyone has to do something different, meaning based off of someone's level, you could tell what type of person they are. So for example, with a succubus, you could tell if they're at a higher level, they did a lot of sex. On the other hand, if they're lower level, they haven't done a lot of sex. So that level is a good way to indicate what they've done and what type of person they are. And the second thing I like is just the interactions with Reach and other characters, seeing how Reach, being a succubus, is treated and how she is able to interact with the characters within this world and how they treat her, whether it's through interest, whether it's nice, whether they're mean, whatever the case is. And the last thing I have to say is Reach is unique because Reach does have a skill, and usually you can only get a skill at minimum level 5. But Reach does start off with a skill, even though she is level 1 succubus, which is called explosive situations, which is like a cause and effect from what I can understand, which creates some sort of explosive situation when something in the environment will be affected, thus causing the explosive situation. So it's not really an offensive skill, but a very situational skill. So that's something interesting, and I'd like to see what else that can do and get a better understanding of the skill, because this is just my understanding of seeing it in action one time. So I'm not completely too sure about exactly how it works, but this is just my speculation of what it seems like it does, considering the name is Explosive Situation. But that's all I got for you guys. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll catch you guys later. Have a fantastic day.